The Zimbabwe Election Support Network ZESN, in partnership with Violet Gonda on Hot Seat, present the election debate and discussion series entitled Making Elections Make Sense. For the next few weeks, ZESN will bring you cutting-edge radio interviews and public debates on key electoral developments as we draw closer to the 30th of July. Zimbabwe Election Support Network ZESN, promoting democratic elections in Zimbabwe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 6th edition of the Election Dialogue series called Making Elections Make Sense. And this is sponsored by the Zimbabwe Election Support Network. My name is Violet Gonda. For the first time in Zimbabwe, we have a number of female candidates who are going to be contesting in the presidential race. And we would like to find out what they stand for, and is Zimbabwe actually ready for a female president? So these are some of the questions that we're going to ask our guests, our panelists this evening. And also, just before we start, I just wanted to give some ground rules. The first half of this session, we're going to do a Q&A. I'll be asking the presidential candidates questions, and then they will answer. And then the second half, the last hour, we will open the discussion to the floor, and then you will all have a chance to ask questions or comment. And those at home who are watching via our live stream feed, I think it's Sly Media Productions that's streaming, and also Zimbabwe Election Support Network Facebook page. Feel free to also post your questions or comments, and we will be able to also ask our panelists based on the questions coming from home. And then just to introduce our panelists, we have Dr. Oamai Joice Mujuru, who represents the People's Rainbow Coalition. We have Ms. Melbah Dzapasi, who is from the hashtag 1980 Freedom Movement of Zimbabwe. We have Dr. Thokozani Khupe from the MDCT, and Violet Mariyacha, who is from the United Democracy Movement. Welcome, ladies. And as I briefed the ladies before we started that we will limit the responses to 90 seconds, a minute and a half, because we have so many issues to tackle today. So if we can respect the time limits so that we can get as much issues discussed as possible. Let me start with Amai Mujuru. Who is Amai Mujuru, and why is it now you've decided to stand in the presidential race? Can you use your mic? Thank you.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joice Mujuru, former freedom fighter, former minister, former vice president. Now I am president for People's Rainbow Coalition, representing 5 parties. I've decided to do this because I represent my colleagues, the freedom fighters. I represent the voiceless. I also represent you, the women, and our children. And our children include disabled, our children, the old ones, and our children, the husbands and brothers. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, viewers. I am Melbah Dzapasi, and I represent hashtag 1980 Freedom Movement. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a farmer, a bit of music. I have decided to be in politics because I have seen that we still have an unfinished business of the liberation struggle that we need to pursue and reassert the people of Zimbabwe to their inheritance. I thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, viewers. I'm Violet Mariyacha, a mother, politician, human rights activist, businesswoman, songwriter, singer, and author. I am running as a presidential candidate for United Democracy Movement because as a mother, I saw that Zimbabwe needs help, like that of a mother. The economy situation, as it is so bad, and Zimbabwe needs healing, and a mom can do that. Thank you.
Good evening, Zimbabwe. Good evening, Zimbabwe. I'm Thokozani Khupe. Good evening, Zimbabwe. I'm Thokozani Khupe, a mother of 3, a former trade unionist, the former Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and currently the President of the Movement for Democratic Change, T. My dream is a Zimbabwe where everyone will have equal opportunities so that we all have a better life. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get into it now. As I mentioned at the beginning, that I think this is actually historic that we have 4 women actually contesting. So let's start with the first topic, which is just about traditional stereotypes. How are you dealing with these, especially the traditional stereotypes of patriarchy during campaigns? Khupe?
Thank you very much. As everybody knows that we are living in a society which is patriarchal, where people think that a woman cannot be a president of her own political party, where people think that a woman cannot be a president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. But I would like to say this. As women, we carry babies for 9 months. We give birth to them. We nurture them to be who they are. I am who I am today because of my mother. You are who you are today because of your mother. For somebody to then stand up, and say a woman cannot be a president, for me it is the greatest insult that I've never come across. Because the fact that we are able to give birth to babies, nurture them to be presidents, to be the ladies who are sitting in front here, it means we are the greatest leaders that we have never come across.
So how are you dealing with this, though, in your own political parties? For example, how many women candidates are in your party?
We have got 22 women candidates. I would like to say that it has been a problem. But if you look at places like Bulawayo, out of the 12 members of parliament, we have 5 members of parliament, which constitutes 42%. Out of the 29 councillors, we have 14 councillors, which constitutes 48%. So there are certain areas where we have tried to make sure that we reach the 50% mark, and we are going to be working very hard to make sure that in the coming future, we have more women who participate in politics. But as you know that we have got serious problems in this country. There are issues to do with violence. And like I said, we are living in a patriarchal society. So you find that so many women are scared to participate in politics. But we are trying to remove that fear. This is why you are seeing 4 women sitting here today. This is another sign of removing fear from women to say, as women, yes, we can do it.
My Mariyacha. Besides Dr. Mujuru and Dr. Khupe, not much is known about you and Dzapasi. Can you at least explain to us what is your party? How many candidates are you fielding, or are you just contesting in the presidential election? And if you have candidates for the general election, how many of those are women, especially since you're a woman presidential candidate?
Okay, I'll start with the one, how many are women? We had about 60% before the nomination court were women, but as we got to the day, many women were facing intimidation and, family issues, so they had to back down last minute. So at the moment, we are 20% women who are running as MPs and councillors. At the same time, women, we got challenges. I know we have got several women groups like standing women's rights, but when it comes to real issues of supporting a woman, we see that women sometimes go and support a male candidate instead of a female candidate. And then at the end of the day, they keep on crying, women's rights, women's rights. This is the time where women have got an opportunity to choose to support a woman for the betterment of their rights. We understand women very well, and we are the best people to deal with women's issues. So like today, here we are, 4 women, Zimbabweans, women, and even young men and fathers. You have got the opportunity now to try a mom.
Okay.
I know in Zimbabwe it's our culture to say man is the head, of course, and it has been for a long time the story behind every successful man is a woman. But today we say beside every successful man, beside every successful woman, there is a man. So we are not leaving men behind. We want to lead this nation to excellence.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mujuru, what can you say about this, based on what we've just heard so far? The parties that you represent have failed to actually have or ensure a 50-50 representation in terms of having women also as candidates. What can you say about that, especially from your experience?
Thank you, Violet. Not every woman is ready or committed to face the challenges that are caused by patriarchal activities or movements. But anyway, it's a learning process. Now that the 4 of us have shown them that it can be done, I'm sure a lot are gathering courage so that they can also be representatives at different levels. But let me tell you, you're talking to a woman who has been a freedom fighter. The worst thing you can ever think of is to be in a war. That's the worst. And we have gone to work so that that fear is removed. So the only thing that I want from women is to be self-confident. We are no longer going to be handled with kid gloves. And let's not behave sana misisi. Because once you do that, then they will start doing all sorts of things that will denigrate who you are as a woman. At least you can stand up and say, some women went there and stood their grounds on behalf of us women. Because we know not every man who was there was courageous enough to participate fully in that war. So, Violet, this is the time, and I'm very happy that what we fought for as women, today they are being represented by 4 of us. So please, girls, get going, go get it. Don't wait, no one will give you for free. You have to stand for yourself.
But still, my Mujuru, wazhinji vanongori kuti, look at the people who've come today. The majority of the women who've come to this discussion are women. The majority of the people who are here. So a lot of people would then say, Madinu kubatana, say the four of you and just have one candidate and then support that one candidate. Why don't you do that? How do you respond to people who say, why don't you support one candidate and mobilize all these women to then support you?
Regai nditaure nechekwamai ndozodzoka nekuchirungu. Madzimai isu patakatanga nyaya yekubatana kwema opposition parties, I pat myself on the shoulder because ndini ndakatanga kufonera vatsvangirai kuti tinoda kuti tibatane tishande pamwe chete. Zvakadaro ndandisingazive kuti mumwe wangu achatisiya nenguva isipi. Saka izvozvo dai kwanga kuri kwekunzi takanga tapedza basa iri zvakanaka, zvikada tingadai tiri kutaura zvimwe neimwe nzira. Asi nokuti zvatiri kutarisira kupati kwedu, isu tiri kumiririra vanhu vasingagone kuzvimiririra. Vasingagone zvavo kuzvimiririra, isu tiri kuvapa rukudzo rwese. Ngavasarudze mumiririri wavo. Izvozvo ndo zvatisina kunyatsobvumirana nevamwe vangu. Tikati ngapavepo nekusarudza mutungamiriri anenge achinzi anofanira kunge aine zvakadai nezvakadai nezvakadai. Ipapo ndo patisina kuirirana nevamwe vangu. Tikabvumiranazve kuti isu sevatungamiriri kwedu kudivi kwedu hatifanire kunge tichifamba tiine makandidate muhomwe tichipa vanhu. Ivo vanhu pachavo ngavatipe candidates. So what I'm trying to say is I represent the voiceless. So we have given people an opportunity to choose their leaders. And these are some of the things that we couldn't agree when we're trying to get together.
But amusupindura zvindikubvunza ndikuti pachenyu sevadzimai right now muri kutadza nei kubatana, because hatisi kutaura zvekunana MDC alliance kana kuti zvemapolitical parties, tiri kutaura hamusi kubatana nei kuti mosupporta one of you with all these other women and mobilize all these other women and have one candidate.
I have gone out of my way to invite. It was never accepted. One of my colleagues, these two I didn't know them.
Oh, so Makambutara na mai Khupe.
I did send a word.
Okay.
I did send a word through her emissary and I didn't get a response.
Saka tichasvike regai ndimbonzwe from my Dzapasi munofungei nenyaya idzi, especially since imi muchiri kutanga. What can you really achieve mungori a sole candidate without any structures?
Maita basa sesefai. Kutanga azviwe kuti hauna ma-structures. Ukanga wasvika pakadai zvinoti ma-structures atoripo. Titoriwo a big team inotitevera. But kupinda kunoita munhu mupolitics kana pazvinhu ane regai nditaura ndichiti kudaidzwa kwaainako kunogona kuti vanhu tigosiyana, asi chatiri kurwira chakafanana. Saka zvakangonaka kuti mumwe nemumwe apinde pabandiko rake sezvaari. Ndiri kuti kudii isu ve1980 freedom movement, chinhu chedu chinoti chinhu chedu Zimbabwe nyika yedu, munhu ivhu munhu. Mukadzi akatanga kusumuka mbuya nehanda, ndivo vakatanga kusumuka kurwa hondo yechimurenga. Vakanga vasiri leader, vakanga vasiri mambo, asi vakaona kuti zvatiri kuda upfumi hwedu hwatorwa, ndobva vasumuka. Ndo masumukiro andakaitawo inini. zvichida pakati pedu nevamwe ndo masimukiro avakaita. Saka ndiri kuti havana kukokera kuti huyai tizobatana, huyai tiite, nokuti zvichida dzimwe dzenguva tiri kure nekure hatigone kuonana. Asi basa rinoenda mberi. Basa rinoenda mberi. Ndiri kuti kudii? Muri kuona tiri madzimai 4, I think iko zvinezvi zvinenge zviri kuratidzika. Kumashure takange tisina. Asi ezvo zvavana nokuti varipo and they've got a variety to choose from according nemunhu zvaanenge akamirira. Hatingagone kuita tese chinhu chimwe chete chakafanana. Tinofanirwa kuva tine zvakasiyana kuti mumwe nemumwe agoona kuita se kusarudza. Asi ndakamira se #1980 freedom movement. Tauya kuzotora chinhu chedu chakarwirwa muhondo naivana mai Mujuru. Chatinoona kuti hatisati tachibata. Chatinoona kuti hasati tachibata.
Saka mune ma-structures akamira sei uyezve mune vakadzi vangani vari mupati menyu? Pamusoro tokumbirawo zvekuti titeerere, muchawana nguva yekuzobvunzawo mhinduro, kubvunza ma-questions, saka regai tinzwe wapedza kutaura. Handiti mazvita zvenyu?
Isu takanga tasvikawo ku50%. Handitiri kuti 50-50. Takanga tasvika ku50%. Asi chakaitika ndekuti panominations edu patakaenda kunomination court, vazhinji vedu vakadisqualify, havana kwanisa kuqualify kupinda. Saka ko zvinotangosarawo ne10% yemadzimai kupati kwedu. Ndizvo zvatangosara nazvo.
Okay. All right. Again, let me come to Dr. Khupe. Can you respond to what Dr. Mujuru said, especially on this issue of uniting and supporting each other as women?
Yes, thank you very much. I think uniting as women is a very noble and good idea. But let's look at reality. Reality right now is that we have 4 female candidates out of the 23. And 54% of the registered voters are women. 43% of the registered voters are youths. And out of the 43%, 50% are girls. So for me, I would like to urge all the women, because it is clear that women are the ones who registered more than men. I would like to encourage all the women, all the girls, and all the men to vote for one of the women who is sitting in front, because this is reality.
But you're still splitting the vote as women. So what offer were you given by Mai Mujuru when she said she actually came to you and wanted to form some kind of a partnership? What was that? Can you tell us what was the deal that was offered by Mai Mujuru?
I think she articulated the issue clearly, that she went through somebody else. This is what she said. But what I would like to say is that let us look at reality. We have 23 candidates. So are you saying that the other 23 are not going to be splitting votes? Let's look at reality. For me, I am pleading with everyone in Zimbabwe to say, can you please vote for one of the women who is sitting in front here? Because we want change. We want change as women. And this time around, we want this country to be led by a woman. Because as women, we are saying we want to make sure that every Zimbabwean is given equal opportunities, so that there is equitable distribution of resources and opportunities for all. This is what we are clamoring for as women. And as you know that women are mothers, you know, we care for you. So I am pleading with you. Yes, as much as we would have wanted to unite and have one candidate, but at the moment, time is not allowing us to do that. We have only 3 weeks to go into an election. And right now we're supposed to be focusing on campaigning and making sure that one of us who is sitting here becomes the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
So, still on you, Dr. Khupe, some of your critics say you're more of a regional leader than a national leader. How do you respond to this?
I have always been a national leader. If there is one person, I speak Shona, I speak Ndebele. If I am in Harare, I speak Shona. If I'm in Bulawayo, I speak Ndebele. I can speak many languages. I have never been a regional leader. I've always been a national leader, because when I was elected first time around as the deputy president of my party, I was elected by all the 12 provinces of my party, unanimously. So how do I become a regional leader when I am elected by all the 12 provinces unanimously? In 2008, when things were tough, when people were being displaced, when people were being killed, all the men ran away and I remained holding the fort single-handedly. And then, my dear, I was doing my master's at NAST. I had to defer my master's because I had to come to Harare, where people were being displaced, where we had a refugee camp at Harvest House. So for people to say Khupe is a regional leader, I have never been a regional leader. I have always been a national leader, and I will remain a national leader.
So we will talk also about policy issues to find out what the policies are. But just to finish on this issue, my Mariyacha, the money and campaigning and money go hand in hand. So can you explain to us how you're managing this in terms of campaign financing? How are you financing your campaign? And how are you also doing your rallies? Because some people just reading on social media, they say they don't know you, they don't know how you've been reaching out to the electorate. So can you explain a bit more about that?
Financing is a challenge at the moment. There is donor fatigue in Zimbabwe. Oppositions have been going for a long time and haven't really managed to get into government. So to find finances for the campaigns, it has been a challenge. But we are managing with what we have, and we are visiting rural areas at the moment, where we are speaking to communities, not rallies at the moment, but really talking to people one-to-one in communities, growth points in places like that.
But how can you run a proper campaign without money, especially without doing rallies? So how can you manage? How do you think you can win?
We have been doing small ones, not as big as the Mnangawa in the MDCT, so not MDCT, you are good, isn't it?
What do you mean by that?
Yes, they've got resources because of the finance, 1.8 million. We haven't got that, and the Constitution of Zimbabwe hasn't given us anything. So we are just like any other political party, just managing. Yes.
Mujuru, how are you managing resource-wise?
The first resource is us, the people who support PRC. And these are the people who are also doing the self-financing. They are helping the party run its affairs. Like yesterday I was in Hoya, I had 8 meetings out of 9. Today I was in Fungwe, Maramba. Again, I had meetings with people. So to be able to do that, it's because of the membership. They are the ones that are looking after us. As you know, we are not yet getting money from government. So that's how we are doing it.
And let's talk about the voters' roll. I'm sure you've seen the press conference that was held by Nelson Chamisa yesterday, where he was saying that the MDC alliance may not go to elections if the issue of the voters' roll is not sorted out, especially also on the issue of the printing of ballot papers. What's your position as a party regarding this, regarding the issue of the voters' roll and also the ballot papers, the printing of the ballot papers?
It's unfortunate that it's an act that was hurriedly done by the government. So that's why we have all these issues. And to then say to the people, we are not ready to go for elections. Otherwise, the first thing is we shouldn't have registered. but for the simple reason that we have registered to run. The issue is we should be able to tell government that for sure there are mishaps with the voters' roll, and we want that corrected. And we would want them not to ignore some of the things that we have been raising since NERA days, because those issues could have been sorted out. And it means that root part that the ruling party has is the thing that we don't want. We want them to be able to give others an ear, and this is what we are telling our electorate. ZANU PF is rude. They don't listen to what people want.
But will you still go to elections with the flawed voters' roll? In other words, would you join these other parties that are calling for a boycott if the voters' roll is not sorted out?
Our policy as a party is not to withdraw from an election. These are some of the things that we would want government to sort out.
Dzapasi, your views on the issue of the voters' roll and also the way ZEC has been running issues.
Okay. On the issue of ZEC, we have been deceived since 2008. We have been deceived. And the election was flawed. Zvinhu zvese zvanga zvisina kumira mushe. Pane chitsotsi chakaitwa chakakura. Vanhu vakawanda vaida kutopinda vachikontesta, even madzimai vakawanda, but havana kwanisa kupinda because of the system that they are using. Isu tiri kuda kuti zvigadziriswe. That's why mchiona mwakaona my election agent, Dr. Francis Dana, vachiburitswa even pa peace pledge, which is unfair, because vari kumiririra isusu vanhu vemuno muZimbabwe kuti zvinhu zvose zvigadziriswe, ende ticharamba tichimira kuti system iyo igadziriswe zvive free, fair and credible. This election is not for a certain political party. It is for the people of Zimbabwe. It does not have to benefit ZANU-PF or whoever. It is not an individual thing. It is supposed to be for the people of Zimbabwe. So we are going to stand with all our effort and all our strength so that all these things be normalized.
So will you still contest even if ZEC continues and your demands are not met, will you still continue? Will you still participate in the elections?
That's why we have decided to enter into these elections. We are starting to fight from the outside, and after elections, we are entering into the election and we are going to be into the election. But we are going to still fight. Once we manage to be in parliament or to be in office, we are going to make everything right. We are going to deal with the ZEC. We are going to deal with the commission.
But how exactly will you deal with ZEC?
You see, this election is flawed. It's giving an advantage to a certain party. Imagine most of the parties didn't manage to register all their candidates, but ZANU-PF did. Our nominees were not found on voters' roll, which means the voters' roll was done for ZANU-PF. So we should put laws. We should put laws and policies that would prevent such things so that it won't be an individualistic thing. It will be a thing of the nation.
Mariyacha, your thoughts on this, and especially people say, why are you participating in the elections if you have no confidence in the electoral process?
We went to Fidelity House. We were called to go and witness the printing of the ballot paper. But when we got there, we were surprised that we were left to stand in corridors and watch from 20 meters away. We didn't see what was happening. So what I think is really that ZEC has got so much to hide. Because if they don't have anything to hide, when they called us, they should have just let us see the ballot paper, the processes which the opposition parties are demanding. Simple. But now they are saying, who in the world have you seen them do that? But we can always start. So, as United Democracy Movement, we are working with other opposition parties who believe that if these elections are flawed, we don't want to enter into an election where others have already won.
So what are you saying exactly? If you know that the elections are flawed, again I ask the same question, why are you participating then?
We haven't arrived on the 30th. The 30th is still a long way. Things are happening in between. We are still trying to communicate and engage ZEC to say, where are we guys? Because that's what, last week when we met, they said we will meet again this week. So we are still waiting. Although they gave a press conference, we don't know, but we are still hoping that they will engage us. They'll give us feedback to the demands which we have placed on them.
Okay, Dr. Khupe, this is not new, the issue of ZEC and the issue of the voters' roll. So what are your thoughts on this?
A voters' roll is a foundation to a free, fair and credible election. And I'm one person who has been talking about the voters' roll since I started participating as a member of parliament in 2000, where we're advocating for a new voters' roll. And I'm happy that now we have a new voters' roll, although there are issues around that voters' roll. What I can say for now is that ZEC must start implementing Section 239 of the Constitution so that they are able to deliver a free, fair and credible election. As a presidential candidate, as I sit here right now, my major concern is the security of the vote. We have 10,000 polling stations, and as a presidential candidate, I would require 20,000 polling agents. And these are the people that we're supposed to be talking about. These are the people who are going to make sure that the vote is secure. I would like to appreciate the work which is being done by ZESN, where they are going to be putting more than thousands and thousands of observers. But an observer and a monitor are two different people. Monitors monitor the election, and these are our polling agents who can stop the election process if they discover that there is something which is wrong. Whereas observers just observe, and if they discover something, they will only talk about those things afterwards. So what I would like to say right now is, I want a situation where these polling agents are put in place, they are trained, and that will be able to deploy polling agents in all the 10,000 polling stations so that our vote is guarded, so that our vote is secure. Meanwhile, ZEC must start implementing Section 239 of the Constitution in order for them to deliver a free, fair and credible election. They will lose more than any other person. The reason why we are faced with these problems as a country right now is as a result of a legitimate process. So we are saying right now, government together with ZEC must make sure that they deliver a free, fair and credible election. And they must do all the things which have been raised by all political parties. Ghost voters, people who are registered, many of them in one house, people with so many IDs. All these issues must be addressed before the 30th of July. But like I said earlier on, for me, my major concern right now is the security of the vote. I want the vote to be secure, and it can only be secured by polling agents whom we are supposed to deploy to all the 10,000 polling stations.
And what if these demands are not met before the 30th of July? Are you going to boycott, or what will you do? Will you still contest?
We will still make sure that we force government and ZEC so that they, meet these demands.
I'm asking, what will you do if they don't?
What will you do if They will, they must.
But you've said you've been calling for these things since 2000,
Yes.
and they've never done that. So what makes you think that they're going to do
This
it
is
right
why
now?
I am saying, yes, we have had situations where they have not met all the demands. This is why I'm now saying, for me, my priority right now and my concern is the security of the vote, because I need polling agents who are going to be monitoring the whole process inside the polling station, who are going to see that people are coming in to vote, who are going to make sure that the result which is announced is not a fake result, it is the proper result, who are going to make sure that if 30 people vote, then 30 people will be, that particular polling station will say 30 people voted. So this is what I'm talking about. Yes, we have had situations where we have not had all the demands that we have been asking for. But for me, right now, we have 3 weeks left to go into an election. And my major concern is the security of the vote. Let us make sure that we deploy all our polling agents so that they do not move their eyes away from the ballot boxes from the beginning of voting to the end and counting until they have results in their hands. This is what I'm going to be advocating right now. Like I said, ZEC must play its part. ZEC must play its part. They must make sure that they implement Section 239 of the Constitution.
I guess none of you've all have refused to say what we'll do if ZEC doesn't. So we'll move on to the next issue on this, because I think we'll keep going round and round. So I come back, Mujuru, to the issue of with the MDC Alliance. They've said that the ZEC chairperson is not an independent referee, and that they are actually sending an envoy to SADC, to the region, to see if SADC can become that referee, that independent referee, and intervene. What do you make of that, and do you support such an issue like this?
He has taken an action on an issue that we have been talking about regarding ZEC. Only a few days ago, I was on air talking about ZEC's, tied hands. We say it's not a free ZEC. ZEC is under the guidance of ZANU-PF government, and yet it has to be an independent institution. So they are sending off an emissary to those, member states. It's a good move, but I'm sure they are moving on an issue that we have been raising all along.
Let's also talk now a bit about your policy issues. So I will start again with you, Mujuru. What are the national priorities in terms of the policy issues that you think that your party will actually put in place in this country? What are the priorities for you?
Our priority number one is we would want to make sure that we are going to deal with one nation, a united nation. How? Spiritually, and trying to bring the nation together. The second one, we are going to have a lean government. That one we are going to make sure it's done. The other one is we are going to make sure that that which people fought for is retained, and those that fought are also included. And we are going to make sure that we are part of the regional group, we are part of the Commonwealth. We would want our economy to be in the hands of the majority. How? We are going to make sure that our economy is run at what level? Why do we choose what level? That's where the majority of us are. We stay there, that's where the people are suffering from, and we would want to make sure that by the end of our 5-year term, we have created a middle class that will involve the majority of people who are in the rural areas. These are farmers, teachers, nurses, and all that. And at the same time, we'd want to make sure that the investors find it easy to come and invest in Zimbabwe. We are not going to forget our diasporians, our children. We are going to make sure that we will have a diaspora bond. as much as we would also want that bond which will also involve the voiceless. Because these are the issues that we think we want to perfect to the level that everyone else finds it easy to participate in our policy making, levels.
I'm guessing that for many people, the issue of the economy is the most important thing to them. So can you just, how would you revive the economy?
Maita zvenyu. Economy yeZimbabwe hainetse kureviva. Vanhu vedu havadi kutambudzika. Vanhu vedu vari kungoda kuti zvinoitwa nehurumende ngazvive zvinobvumira munhu kuti akwanise kuita zvaanogona. Isu takatozviziva nechekare kuti kana tiri kuda kuti upfumi hwedu hufambe zvakanaka, tinofanira kutanga tashanda mukuti munhu wese muZimbabwe ari kunzwa here ari mumwe wevachagona kubata basa rekuti upfumi hufambire pamberi. Tichaedza nekwatinogona isisu kuti hatisi kushanda tiri Zimbabwe yakangoti dzororo. Toda kushanda nedzimwe nyika nokuti isu tagara tiri vanhu vanodikanwa nedzimwe nyika kusanganisira nevana vedu vakabuda munyika munomu. Vari kuunza mari kuno, tiri kuvatekisa mari yavo zvakanyanya. Isi tiri kuti tichabvisa taxi iyoyo. Handiti mazviona. Tiri kuda zvakare kuti tive neratinoti diaspora bond. Iroro richagonesawo zvakare kuti kana rapinda muno yatowo mari yamuZimbabwe inogona kupiwa kune vanhu vanenge vachida kuita mabasa akasiyana siyana. Zvakare tinoda kutoita conference yemainvestors nokuti tinenge taita mafambisiro ezveupfumi kuti areruke kune vari munyika nevasiri munyika, kune vana vedu vari kunze nevari muno, kuitira kuti mari dzekushandisa dzinge dziripo dziine mutengo wakaderera. Isu tichaedza nekwatinako kuti mutero wemunhu ureruke, asi kuti mari ichabuda kubva muzvicherwa zvedu. Iyoyo mari iyoyo inofanira zvakare kunge iri ndiyo icharerutsa kukwira kwehupfumi. Zvakare tichadawo kuti tibatane nevari mudunhu medu muno iye yatinoti region kuti tijoinawo kana iye yatinoti the rand group. Tiwane mari dzakanaka dzekushandisa kwete mabond note.
Okay, Master. For my Dzapasi, how would you forge a recovery program post-elections?
Isusu say hashtag 1980 Freedom Movement. We are a revolutionary party. Tirukuya chitimukana kumunhu wese. Tirikutora black empowerment. Opportunities mikana ichivhurwa kuvanhu. Tiri kubva muera yekutsvaga mabasa, yekuti tinokupai mabasa kuti tigadzire opportunities kumunhu wese. Tinoti vanhu vedu, vanhu vari munyika ino vanofanira kuva involved pazvinhu zvemunyika yavo. Vanofanira kuva vachiparticipate mukuvakwa nekureviva economy yenyika yavo. Tiri kuti isusu mukubatana nedzimwe nyika mapolicies takaisa isusu ekuti hatifanire kuita zvinhu zvinosiya isusu tiri exploited, tatorwa upfumi hwedu. There is everything in Zimbabwe. Everything we may want is within the borders of Zimbabwe. And we are saying panzvimbo chekupa vana machips, mayogurt, we want the children of Zimbabwe to suckle the milk that is in their land, to taste the sweetness of the honey that is in their land.
I see, my Dzapasi, can you at least be more specific? Can you specify how you actually do it? How are you going? What are you going to do, for example, on the issue of unemployment or the cash crisis? Hello, regatins wapindure.
Panyaya unemployment. Mabasa acha hakuna. We need to open my industries. But kana tichora nyaya ma industries. Hana basa racha unza. Tunoda kuita ma services industries. We have got service industries like zimwe nyika dzikuita ma Facebook, ma WhatsApp, ma social services.
Regai wapedze. I think one warudonya sozo kuti munozvifambisa say, how are you going to do this? Hello, please, regai wapindurezve. Anditi chimirai wataure.
Chekutanga. Tinoti. You cannot make an omelette without breaking an egg. Kune vakaba mari. Tinofanira kudzoka.
Okay, all right. Okay.
In security, we prevent and recover. Trukuzo audita kuti mari dzose dzakafamba sei. We are going to change the tax system to a simple, sustainable tax system.
Okay. All right. Regate Mbonzwe from Mariyacha. Ko imimi, what are your national priorities in your party?
Mazvita. My priorities angu kana kuti my priorities eku UDM ndekugadzira mabasa. Job creation. Tinoita my job creation by supporting small business people, my small businesses. Tino pa ma resources, my training centers, nema advices. Every place cannot, every town cannot, my villages. Tinenge tichisa ma business centers. Pawanouya vanhu vachibvunza advice, tinowapa ma advice, tinowapa ma resources, tinokweretesa mari, tinosupporta.
What about the
sorry?
And we mirai munzweka muchaona nguva yekuabvunza ma questions, mirai wapedze handiti tichabvunza manje kuti imimi, what are your priority issues, what do you want them to deal with handiti saka
okay, inini ndiri kutaura pamusoro pema small business.
Ko pari panyaya economy ne-education,
okay,
vakakuchema kuri kuita vanhu, because those may not be the priority issues for the ordinary Zimbabweans, vanhu vari kutambudzika. Vanhu vanoda kuziva kuti panyaya ye-education, panyaya ye-health, panyaya ye-economy, unemployment.
Isusu ku UDM tiri kupa free education. Because I believe Zimbabwe is a rich country. Kana ma resources enyika are in good hands. Like UDM. Corruption, tinenge tichidila ne corruption. Because ma resources enyika are kupedzwa ne corruption. Ma minerals, ma diamonds, tine gold, aluminium, everything, ma diamonds. Saka zvese izvo kana zviri in safe hands.